he doesn't kind of buy what the prosecution's selling. He thinks they've looked at the notes.
Yeah.
He thinks that they're cheating.
I mean, I would think that too.
But apparently what happened is commonplace.
In the meantime, let's go back to New York City. Want to get some updates on the case that is unfolding there regarding Sean Diddy Combs.
Buckle up, because the ongoing saga surrounding Diddy and his family just took a wild turn. Reports reveal that the FBI has issued an arrest warrant for Diddy's mother, Janice Combs. That's right, Janice, the matriarch who raised Diddy after his father's untimely passing, is now in the spotlight. The shocking allegations against her are both unsettling and jaw-dropping, leaving everyone in disbelief. You'd think the headlines couldn't get more shocking, but here we are with a twist that nobody saw coming.
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
If you're wondering how we got here, let's take a step back. For months, Diddy has been at the center of a storm of accusations, from misconduct to orchestrating disturbing gatherings with a trail of allegations spanning decades. But now, the focus has shifted to his mother, Janice Combs, with the theory emerging that she may have played a far bigger role than anyone realized. The FBI's arrest warrant reportedly stems from evidence suggesting Janice wasn't just a bystander. Allegations indicate she may have been pivotal in fostering the environment that allowed this chaos to unfold. But how deep does it really go?
A woman is accusing Sean Diddy Combs of and her when she was 16 years old in 2000.
According to insiders, the FBI has spent years meticulously gathering evidence, and things aren't looking good. Alleged photographs, testimonies, and old recordings are painting a troubling picture of Janice Combs, suggesting she may have knowingly or unknowingly contributed to her son's troubled legacy. Remember those infamous parties that have sparked so much controversy? Well, it's now being claimed that Janice played a role in organizing similar events long before Diddy became the massive figure he is today. These gatherings, attended by high-profile individuals, allegedly normalized behaviors that have now come back to haunt the family.
And because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos, were allegedly victims of crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not.
Let's dive into Janice and Diddy's upbringing. From the outside, she's always been seen as a fiercely protective mother who did whatever it took to provide for her family after Diddy's father passed away. Janice raised Diddy and his siblings on her own, working tirelessly to give them opportunities she never had. However, things get murky when you look closer. Several of Diddy's childhood friends have recently shared troubling stories about what really went on behind closed doors. One childhood friend, Tim Patterson, spoke out in a documentary, revealing that the Combs household was a hub for late-night gatherings where anything could happen. Patterson claimed these events were far from ordinary neighborhood get-togethers, describing a world where lines were blurred and behaviors that would have been deemed unacceptable elsewhere were normalized at the Combs home.
According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having that was just their normal.
Patterson didn't hold back in his recollections, detailing how, as kids, they were allegedly exposed to things they didn't fully understand at the time but now see as deeply troubling. From overheard conversations to walking into rooms where things no child should witness were happening, Patterson described a household where boundaries seemed non-existent. While he stopped short of directly implicating Janice in illegal activities, he made it clear that as the head of the household, she had to have known what was going on. Patterson reportedly stated she knew and didn't stop it, that was just how things were. But here's where it gets even more intense. Some sources claim Janice's involvement went beyond turning a blind eye. Allegedly, she actively ensured these gatherings were well-stocked and attended, even coordinating with other adults to keep the atmosphere lively. Though unverified, these claims have caught the attention of federal investigators, who are now probing Janice's past to understand how much she knew and potentially contributed to the environment shaping Diddy's worldview.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
Let's not forget the psychological impact this could have had on young Diddy. Growing up in such a chaotic environment could leave lasting effects, especially for someone destined for the public eye. Experts suggest that the normalization of certain behaviors at an early age may explain some of the allegations against Diddy as an adult. It's a classic case of nature versus nurture, raising the question, was Diddy simply a product of his upbringing, or is there more to his story?
Well, certainly there's a lot of information that needs to be substantiated, investigated, and those kinds of things. But when we look at people who become offenders, we oftentimes see early exposure to whether that's or actual behavior, and we oftentimes see that within the family.
Adding fuel to the fire are the long-standing rumors and speculations surrounding the Diddy family. Whispers of secret payouts to silence stories, allegations of intimidation tactics to shut down critics, and now the shocking possibility that Janice herself may have been complicit in some way. It's all creating a media frenzy. The question everyone is asking, how deep does this rabbit hole go, and what does it mean for the future of the Combs family? The ongoing arrests and investigations only add to the drama, with Diddy facing multiple lawsuits and criminal charges that could lead to a long prison sentence. But now, with the spotlight on his mother, the narrative has taken a sharp turn. If the allegations against Janice are true, it raises tough questions about accountability and complicity. Should she have done more to protect her family from the chaos consuming them, or was she just as much a victim of circumstances as anyone else?
You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or, you know, when they're constantly asking you, would you like to do and you're like, well, I don't do, and they're like, well, why don't you do?
As it stands, the FBI's case against Janice Combs is still unfolding, with details kept under wraps. But one thing is certain, this is no longer just about Diddy, it's about a family dynasty crumbling under the weight of its own secrets. Each new revelation makes the story darker and more complex. So, what happens next? Will Janice turn herself in, or will she fight the allegations fiercely, and how will this twist impact Diddy's ongoing legal battles? One thing's for sure, the drama is far from over. Now, let's dive back in, because if you thought the first part was jaw-dropping, just wait. The saga of Diddy Combs, his troubled past, mounting evidence, and the disintegration of his once formidable legal team, is like peeling back the layers of an onion, each one more pungent and eye-watering than the last. This is where things truly begin to spiral out of control.
Now, this particular defense attorney's reason for quitting wasn't really a reason at all, making his departure a lot more puzzling.
Let's rewind and take a closer look at Diddy's history, which has always been somewhat of an enigma. For decades, he's been one of the most powerful figures in entertainment, seemingly untouchable. But behind the glitz and glamour, whispers of manipulation, intimidation, and a darker side have always lingered, things that didn't quite align with his polished, larger-than-life persona. The cracks in his image were always there, but no one dared to dig too deep until now.
Did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
The accusations against Diddy stretch back years, even decades, painting a picture of a man who allegedly used his influence and resources not only to build an empire but to control those around him. The earliest rumors surfaced in the late 90s and early 2000s, but they were often dismissed as the price of fame. After all, these were the golden years of Bad Boy Records. Diddy was churning out hit after hit, producing for artists like the Notorious B.I.G. and Faith Evans, redefining what it meant to be a hip-hop mogul. He was a trendsetter, a visionary, and to many, a role model. However, according to some who worked closely with him, the reality behind the scenes was far less glamorous. One former employee, who chose to remain anonymous, described the atmosphere at Bad Boy Records as a pressure cooker. Allegedly, Diddy was a master manipulator, using fear and coercion to keep everyone in line. Loyalty was the currency of his empire, and those who didn't fall in line were reportedly cast aside or worse.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the video.
Then there are the infamous gatherings, which have become central to the allegations against Diddy. These lavish, over-the-top events, attended by celebrities and insiders, have long been the subject of speculation. Allegedly, some attendees were coerced into participating in activities they later described as deeply disturbing. One guest who attended an early 2000s event claimed the experience left them shaken, describing it as something out of a movie, with clear power dynamics and people present who seemed uncomfortable but didn't speak up. Fast forward to today, and those whispers have turned into a full-blown reckoning. Lawsuits are piling up, with more individuals coming forward to accuse Diddy. Each lawsuit paints a similar picture: a man who allegedly used his wealth, power, and influence to exploit and control others. While Diddy has categorically denied all accusations, the sheer volume of claims is impossible to ignore.
Time frame is important because this happened in hotels, in places that have surveillance, that there's records that could be consistent with his testimony about when he alleges that these parties took place. He probably has his own information about who attended the events. When you're somebody like Sean Combs and you're such a celebrity and you're engaged in this type of behavior, people around you are memorializing it on their own.
Perhaps the most telling sign of how bad things have gotten is the chaos within Diddy's own legal team. Over the years, Diddy has been known for assembling top legal minds who successfully defended him against everything from contract disputes to serious allegations, earning him a reputation as someone who could weather any storm. But now, that once unshakable team is falling apart.
It could be a disagreement regarding defense strategy, it could be a conflict, it could be a health issue, it really could be anything, and the paperwork doesn't identify it, nor should it. And the fact that Mark Agnifilo is still on the case and the other counsel of record leads me to believe that the judge is going to rubber stamp this motion and grant it.
Recently, one of Diddy's lawyers, Anthony Rico, filed a motion to withdraw from the case, stating that under no circumstances could he continue to represent Diddy. While he didn't elaborate on the reasons for his decision, the timing couldn't be worse, with a trial date approaching and the stakes higher than ever. The departure of such a key member of his defense team raises serious questions about the state of Diddy's case. Could even his own lawyers be losing faith in his innocence, or is there something else at play? What's even more intriguing about Rico's resignation is speculation that he may have stepped down due to internal documents that surfaced during the course of the case. Though the details remain sealed, insiders close to the investigation have hinted that these documents contain information so damaging that even a seasoned defense attorney might reconsider staying on board. Some suggest these documents could directly contradict Diddy's public denials, creating an ethical dilemma for anyone defending him. If true, this would explain why Rico's departure felt so abrupt. It was clearly about more than just legal strategy.
Obviously, there's other lawyers on the case. Obviously, a lot of the victims are female. They're going to want female lawyers in the defense team, especially during some of the aggressive cross-examination. That tends to be the conventional wisdom when you're dealing with victims who are alleged victims of assault or abuse. And then it could be a conflict with one of the victims themselves. Maybe maybe Rico consulted with them or even represented.
Adding to the chaos, there are whispers that other members of Diddy's legal team may be considering jumping ship. One unnamed source, reportedly close to the team, described the atmosphere as toxic, with tensions running high over disagreements on how to proceed. There's a real divide right now, the source allegedly said. Some think they should focus on discrediting the accusers, while others believe they need to create doubt around the evidence itself. Nobody's on the same page, and it's creating a lot of friction. If more lawyers follow Rico's lead, Diddy could be left scrambling to find replacements at a time when he can least afford further setbacks. Then there's the question of whether Diddy himself is contributing to the turmoil. Multiple reports suggest the mogul has been micromanaging his defense, allegedly overruling his attorney's advice and pushing for strategies that some view as risky or counterproductive. He's used to being in control, a legal analyst commented, but the courtroom is a whole different ballgame, and trying to control the narrative too tightly can backfire. If these reports are true, Diddy's business instincts may now be working against him in the courtroom.
I think it has to be the defense, the consent, because, look, sometimes you can argue that the activity never happened, right? It wasn't me, defense. But this is not your typical assault case. There are a lot of people there, right? There are people that are arranging the workers. There are people that are setting up lights and cameras, booking hotel rooms. Obviously, Diddy has a large...
Rico's exit has sparked a flurry of speculation, with some insiders suggesting that internal conflicts within Diddy's legal team have reached a breaking point. One source close to the case described the atmosphere among his lawyers as tense, with disagreements over strategy reportedly causing friction. There's a lot of pressure on them right now. They're trying to figure out how to mount a defense against what feels like an avalanche of accusations, the source said. It's not an easy position to be in. And it's not just Rico's departure that's raising eyebrows. Rumors also suggest that some members of Diddy's team are concerned about the public perception of the case. With every new lawsuit and headline, the narrative surrounding Diddy becomes harder to control. One legal expert, not involved in the case but following it closely, pointed out that public opinion could play a significant role in the outcome. When you're dealing with a high-profile case like this, the court of public opinion matters, the expert said. If the jury enters that courtroom already believing he's guilty, it's going to be an uphill battle for his defense team. So where does this leave Diddy? For someone who built his brand on being untouchable, the reality of his situation must be hitting hard. If convicted, he faces the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. Even if he somehow manages to beat the criminal charges, the damage to his reputation and legacy may be irreversible. The lawsuits alone could cost him millions, not to mention the impact on his businesses and partnerships. It's a fall from grace that few could have predicted, but one that seems almost inevitable in hindsight.
Live, a judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and trafficking case.
The ripple effects on Diddy's family are already being felt. The allegations against Janice Combs add complexity to an already explosive situation. While she has publicly defended her son, her own legal troubles could make matters worse. With Diddy's siblings and children watching from the sidelines, it's unclear whether they will stand by him or distance themselves to protect their own futures. This uncertainty will undoubtedly shape the next chapter of this unfolding drama.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
Diddy has long been a symbol of success in the entertainment industry, a self-made mogul who overcame adversity to reach the top. But if the allegations against him are true, it raises serious questions about the culture of power and privilege that allowed him to operate unchecked for so long. This case goes beyond Diddy, touching on deeper issues of accountability and ethics in an industry that often prioritizes profit over justice. With a trial set for May, the next few months promise more twists. Will more accusers come forward? Can Diddy's legal team mount a defense? Most importantly, will the truth be revealed? This unfolding story will undoubtedly leave a lasting impact. Stay tuned.
This is video of Diddy's family arriving to court for last Friday's hearing. Prosecutors arguing that he misused prison systems in an attempt to tamper with potential witnesses. And they say they have proof Diddy used other inmates' phone cards or used three-way calls with friends to contact associates that prosecutors consider to be a part.
As the drama surrounding Diddy and his family unfolds, we can't help but wonder how much Janice Combs knew about the alleged events and her involvement. How will Diddy's legal battles and the fall of his empire affect his family and the entertainment industry? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep the conversation going. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more celebrity news.